Syrian warplanes bombed the Damascus suburb on Wednesday in a push to dislodge rebels from a stronghold that threatens President Bashar al-Assad's hold on the capital, opposition activists said. Heavy fighting also raged in other outskirts of the city in the most serious challenge to Assad's seat of power in months. In Brussels, NATO envoys were considering a request by Turkey to deploy Patriot missiles in its territory to defend itself against any Syrian attacks. Even though the measure is aimed at preventing a spillover of the 20-month-old conflict into Syria's neighbors, it signaled a creeping internationalization of the conflict. After months of slow progress, the rebels have in the last few weeks captured several army positions on the outskirts of Damascus and outlying regions, including a special forces base near Aleppo, Syria's commercial hub, and an air defense position near Damascus's southern gate. Assad's opponents are also gaining support internationally with a new coalition of opposition and rebel groups seeking recognition as the legitimate voice of the Syrian people. Shashank Joshi of the Royal United Services Institute RUSI in London said the developments of the last few weeks were shifting the balance in favor of the rebels. The use of the word stalemate to describe the conflict may no longer be appropriate, he told Reuters by phone. The rebels have moved up the ladder of warfare. On Wednesday, MiG fighter jets launched a second day of raids on the opposition-held suburb of Daraa, set in farmland near the main southern highway, where rebels have been battling elite Republican Guard units. Live footage broadcast by the opposition on the internet showed heavy smoke rising from a built-up area in Daraa and carried the sound of automatic gunfire. The pro-government Al-Ikhbariyya television said the army had begun a campaign to cleanse Daraa of what it described as terrorists, and showed troops on the edge of the town. Activists reported 23 people killed in 2 days. But rebels and activists suggested Assad's forces were finding it harder to dislodge the rebels than when they last entered the suburb in August. The government offensive to Free Syrian army fighters from Daraa then killed 1,000 people after rebels took over the town, established a local administration and began attacking loyalist targets in Damascus, according to opposition sources. The military picture seems to have changed since August. The regime is sending troops under tank and air cover, but they have not really advanced into Daraa, activist Abu Kinan said by phone from the town. Last time the rebels made a decision to withdraw after the army's bombing killed a large number of civilians. There are civilians left in Daraa, but the bulk had fled and the fighters are holding their ground, he said. The official Sana news agency said that terrorists, a term it uses for rebels, had attacked shops and homes in Daraa, as well as a mosque. Rebels gain edge. Fadwatello, a veteran opposition campaigner, said the fact that the rebels have recaptured Daraa and are fending off Assad's best forces indicates a change on the ground. The rebels' military position is still difficult, but it is improving. Fighting was also reported in Damascus's eastern suburb of Irbin, where rebels said they had destroyed one tank and killed 2 Republican guards. Irbin is one of many Sunni Muslim suburbs in the farmland around Damascus known as Al-Ghouta. The whole eastern Ghouta is basically a liberated area. Assad's army still has superior firepower, but is being eroded. It can no longer push forward with a lot of troops, said Abu Ghazi, an activist turned fighter in Irbin. Severe restrictions on non-state media make it impossible to verify such reports independently. So far Assad's core military units, composed mainly of members of his Alawite minority sect, an offshoot of Shiite Islam, have prevented the rebel push into the capital itself. But Tello said the rebels were gaining strength in Damascus, partly because they were being joined by fighters from outlying regions. He pointed to guerrilla attacks in the last few days near Damascus airport and expanding rebel control of the mixed urban and farmland regions around Damascus, although Assad's forces